It's now time for Trending Now with Olamide Odekunle.
Good morning, Etoma. Good morning, Ibrahim. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Olamide is here. It's a wonderful day.
Yeah, it is.
To take trending stories.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys ready for what I have for you?
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. I'll take it away. Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the street. And if it's a trending story, we are going to attempt to dissect it on here. Moving into our first story, the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, is taking an unorthodox and hands-on approach to tackling unregulated waste disposal, and he's doing it in full view of the public. Now, rather than issuing broad warnings, Wahab is taking action by personally calling out offenders on social media, ensuring full transparency and accountability. Take a look at this.
To that place, let's go to where you are working. You'll be security. So what will make you bring this thing? Come, what's up? Wait, Oga. Please, excuse me, sir. No. Oga, wait now. Good evening, sir. So, please, what happened? Why you don't have any right to dump your waste there? That's not the right place for you to dump your waste. You don't need anybody to tell you. You don't have any right to dump your waste there. That's not the right place now.
Now, the Commissioner's public crackdown is very timely, as there have been growing concerns on social media about worsening environmental pollution in Lagos, and residents are complaining about the stench of the city from water contamination and waste buildup. I think that if we cannot get institutions to collectively handle waste management and waste disposal properly, perhaps this individualistic name and shame strategy will be a deterrent to individuals, knowing that they're constantly being watched. But I'm going to take a look at social media. Mark says, this is actually bad. As individuals, we must do better. There should be a circular that anyone caught will pay a huge fine. Honestly, jingle should be flying on radio and television. Let them know it's now a crime. We're doing that right now, Mark. Kolade says they will turn around to claim Lagos stinks after dumping of refuse indiscriminately. The city doesn't smell so great right now. That is a fact. But in our next story, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, has stirred social media buzz after revisiting the slap that she delivered to the former Anambra First Lady, Ebele Obiano, during the inauguration of Governor Charles Soludo on March 17, 2022. Now, what was meant to be a political celebration turned into high drama when Bianca slapped Mrs. Obiano in front of several dignitaries. Almost 2 years later, she's now posted a video of the incident on Instagram, and many Nigerians are wondering, is she celebrating the anniversary of this slap, and why? Let's take the stories I get to do on here. In many cases, slap anniversary, against a first lady for that matter. This country celebrates any and everything. So Bianca Ojukwu had it somewhere in her reminder specifically to celebrate such public display of uncouth behavior. I'm shaking my head. Popori says, see what a minister is celebrating. There was once a country. I really want to focus for the fact that we are a serious TV station on the Tokunbo Wahab story. The commissioner is naming and shaming individuals, Ibrahim and Etoma, and I really hope that people know that they're being watched and they can take this seriously. We all have a part to play in environmental pollution. We can't continue like this.
Yes, one of the biggest problems Lagos has faced over the years is environmental pollution. There was a time Lagos was seen as the dirtiest city in the whole of Africa. I'm happy that that is not the narrative right now. And I love what Mr. Commissioner has done. Let the people know that, look, it's not business as usual. Somebody is watching, you know. So do the right thing. The meaning of integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is looking at, at you. And that's what Mr. Commissioner is trying to achieve. I really like that move.
Yeah, so I think we can do better as a people, whether in Lagos, Akwa Ibom, Ogun, anywhere. We should always be responsible. It should not be that, because sometimes when I look at some people's computer screen, you see icons, you know, scattering all over the screen. So it reminds me of how untidy the person might be when you go to that person's, you know, coven. So it starts from how you treat your own home and then how you treat our own common patrimony, especially talking about the road infrastructure and all of that, because all this waste will sink into, will be, you know, breezed into water and some other places and might contaminate the ecological system, the living beings that are inside the water. Not talking about Mami water, but I'm talking about the fishes and all of that.
And,
you know,
and some might argue that, you know, the measure of a man is in who he is when no one is watching. What are you doing with your waste when nobody is looking at you? Exactly. But guys, happy anniversary. I've got to move on now.
So before you move on, the video that was posted by Bianca Ojukwu, you know, that was a valedictory slap for the former, because it was on the swearing in of the incumbent governor in Anambra State. So, but if she was the one that received the slap, would she have posted the video?
This is very sassy. 3 years later, she is regurgitating this video and taking a stance still that she's happy that she slapped her.
Well, if she was the one that received it, if it was the other way around, would she have posted it? But we just need more decorum in our public space, especially from our public officials. That's what we'd like to see.
Happy anniversary. In our next story, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has approved 4,794 land titles be taken back due to non-payment of ground rent for over 40 years. Now, according to FCTA officials, over 8,000 property owners in prime areas like Garki, Wuse, Asokoro, Maitama, and Guzape have failed to pay their dues in 43 years, despite repeated warnings from the FCTA. They've made public notices since 2023, and they've urged defaulters to settle their debts, but compliance remained unfortunately low. Now, a final 21-day grace period has now been granted to those owing for 1 to 10 years, after which their land titles will also be revoked by the state. We have real estate title owners who have held on to prime real estate for decades. If you're going to be a landowner, it comes with financial obligations and financial responsibilities. And you're depriving the government of prime real estate they could be using for infrastructure and local development. But let's take a look at social media. Wike takes the hard stance per usual. Jeremiah says, El Rufai did more than Wike. He demolished people's homes. Till date, some families haven't recovered from that shock. The psychologist says, what does he mean by ground rent? Calling it land tax is understandable, and revoking titles is not the way to go about it if the lands are not leased by the government. It is a wrong judgment to such issues. Why not just fine them? Cutting corners to take people's land forcefully is wrong. In our final story in international news, Rwanda has given Belgian diplomats 48 hours to leave the country, and it's broken its diplomatic ties with Belgium. The Rwandan government says that Belgium has been undermining its peace effort in the region, especially in the ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Belgium has been one of the loudest voices in pushing the European sanctions against Rwanda, accusing the country of backing the war in Congo, as well as supporting M23 rebels who are fighting in Congo. Now, Belgium, which once ruled Rwanda as a colony, has called the decision disproportionate and promised to react. This is very interesting. It's interesting to see colonizers, colonialists, who actually pillaged and conquered and sponsored wars for years in African countries, you know, decades later come out to condemn this very same behavior. But the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations says that a country has the right to eject any foreign diplomat at any point and declare them persona non grata or unwelcome. So Kagame is well within the rights, although some are arguing that he should have taken a more diplomatic approach to this. But let's take a look at social media. Andy says, everyone is waking up except Nigerians. And Ben says, this is the mentality of a leader who can lead Africa out of this colonialism and imperialism mindset. Before I take this to Etoma and Ibrahim, I'd like to ask you guys to please chime in on this conversation. Do you have an interesting perspective you'd like to share with us? Please tag us with the hashtag TrendingNowTVC on any social media platform. I promise that we are listening. Ibrahim and Etoma, we are seeing Paul Kagame take a very hard stance. In recent times, we've also seen the president of Burkina Faso, take a hard stance on foreign involvement in his country.
I think it's only responsible that you do things like that. You know, for Belgium, yes, you colonized Rwanda during the genocide. What did you do? What was your contribution? So why are you criticizing that country right now? It's a sovereign country with all organs of government in place, and it's a country that has recorded so much gains in the health sector, in infrastructure, and so on. It's a full-fledged country, and you, the former colonizer, that did not do anything in their time of need, you are now pointing fingers. I support what the president of Rwanda did completely.
Well, it's actually a complex, the crisis in DRC is actually a complex one, because with a lot of, forth and back claims, counterclaims and all of that, seeing what Rwanda has done, to the Belgium, this is another turn, another complex dynamic to the Rwanda-Belgium relations. How Belgium is going to react or respond remains to be seen. But if an African nation is taking a stand, a strong stance against the former colonial government, we are not seeing this for the first time. We've also seen it in Niger, seen it in Burkina Faso, who chased France away. Like, listen, fine, you are our former colonial masters, but you are doing bad on our soil, so we do not want to have anything to do with you, so we want to sever relations. But one way or the other, they're still relating, and Russia is trying to come in. So, but if Rwanda has done this, let's see how Belgium is going to respond. But DRC, that counterclaims, they have natural resources, mineral resources, cobalt, gold, diamond. So it's all scramble for who takes what out of this. So we hope that that crisis in the DRC, Sudan and some other countries comes to a halt as soon as possible.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Etoma, I'd like you to quickly touch on this Wike land issue. He's revoking these land titles. Imagine land being in your family for years, but due to inflation costs of everything, you can't keep up with the payments. And now this land is going to leave your family. Or, what do you expect these owners to do? Are they well within their rights to sue? What do you guys think?
Personally, I don't think they are within their rights to sue, because it is constitutional for you to pay ground rent, as he called it. It's constitutional, and it has not been paid for 40 years and above. 40 years.
It's a long time. Yes,
it's a very long time. So I think the landowners have been given, how do I say it, a soft landing for a very long time. They've been contacted, they've been written to, all avenues had been exhausted.
That's right.
And it takes a man like Wike to now say, look, we've had enough. We've had enough, and this is what I'm going to do.
The issue will now be seeing if the government actually uses that land for themselves, or if it's going to, be...
Well, government owns all the lands, and one way or the other, they have a way of revoking license or ownership of certain lands if there is defaulted. So I believe that everyone should explore all available legal means that they have to ensure that whether they want to salvage what belongs to their own father or their ancestral home, or maybe cede it to the government. But the right thing must be done. We expect that the FCT minister would always do the right thing, and the people whose owners is on to ensure that they develop their lands do the right thing as well.
For me, I would like to leave a piece of advice for the landowners. Don't go fighting, go negotiating.
Who do they want to fight? Who fights government and wins?
Go negotiating.
There's one thing people in Nigeria will fight about is their land. They don't play with their real estate.
Yes, I know. But if you're fighting because you have a chance to win, it makes sense. But when you're fighting when you don't have a chance to win, it doesn't make any sense. So go negotiating. Look, I'm going to pay this thing within this period of time, and so on. And see if government will now say,
looks
okay,
like,
that's a good idea.
Minister Nyesom Wike has a lot of
possibly
battles.
saved us from several wicked landlords.
Minister Nyesom Wike has a lot of battles right in front of him. So as he's fighting one in River State, he's also having another in the FCT.
I think he
We wish
thrives
him
in battles. Okay. All right. Back to you, Mama. All right. Let's tell you that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. That's the package for today. My name is Itomedu. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow.